So in the second part of this conversation, I wanted us to talk about the banking sector here.
Yes.
Okay. We've been seeing and reading about different scandals, and it's not even controversial to say the CEO of Stanbic Bank has come out to promise the public that they will take very seriously any internal any issues that may threaten their clients' savings. There were some bad apples within the organization that I think were apprehended. And she has warned them, the management, that I don't care who you are. If I even catch a whiff of something fishy, that I'm throwing the book at you. The full extent of the law. You are not my friend. I don't know you. No mercy. So that's kind of reassuring. I've seen that Equity Bank has also launched some kind of campaign to educate people against financial fraud and things like this. So it seems to be an area of interest, but only because it's in response to concerns about transparency, concerns about the safety of deposits.
Yes.
So what would you have to say? What would you say to customers of banks in Uganda? Should we take these signals that we're seeing from these banks as a sign that they are serious about keeping our money safe?
Our banks are not necessarily ordinary retail customer focused. Their interest is basically government. I think their huge biggest portfolio is within government bonds and treasuries.
That's why they make most of their money.
That's their basic foundation.
In fact, someone was telling me that like customer retail, like my account, your account, like these count for just a trickle of.
They're more or less seen as a burden to them.
And I know, and there's one major local bank, I think, who even wanted to close all their branches and just keep headquarters because they don't need.
Oh yeah,
all the customers just do online.
Okay, exactly. And the fewer branches they can have, the better. One of the most profitable probably has only one branch. It wouldn't be good to mention, but everyone would know.
Well, I think
it's
we know
one
it.
of the most elite banks.
Yes,
it has probably one branch, and it turns out profitability that is enormous. Why? Because it handles what we are talking of, government bonds and treasury bills. But more than anything, it has been at the core of donor funding channeling within the economy. So its dollar and forex related returns were enormous, and so it did not need to spread around and do retail. So retail to the local banks is a burden, and so they will charge you drastically for participating within their banks. So whoever has an account is seen and is charged almost for every small item. Walk into the bank, you're being charged. Turn around, you're charged for every single item that you participate in.
Yeah.
If you claim to be saving with a bank, it's more or less a joke. I don't know if there's any return worth writing home about. There are some accounts that may offer something.
Just a minute.
Joke.
Yeah, but fixed deposits. I mean, I think some banks can offer you, is it 10%?
Exactly. Now,
per annum?
Fixed deposits, again, are more or less government related, corporate related, and parastatal related.
No. Like even you can go there with your money, you deposit it, fixed deposit.
Yeah, I'm not that lucky to be banking $1 million, 2 or 3.
Okay, so you're saying, so for it to make sense, this deposit would have to be substantial.
They are often substantial. And when you see the ones who would participate especially are the parastatals, and when they're holding something back that is substantial,
they park their money there, fix it, and live off the top. Now, okay, but then surely there is benefit. A lot of them are extending convenient loan services. Nowadays, you can get a bank loan within 2 minutes,
which is a wonderful thing. But then they'll charge you an arm and a leg.
The interest is
ridiculous.
Why? Ridiculous as in what? What is it about? Is it about 14 or 17%?
That's unacceptable. Anything in double digits is unacceptable.
But in this high-risk economy.
Now, that's the whole point. The whole point is that we are being mapped as high risk. That high risk is not local focused. It's foreign imposed. In other words, we have an ultimate customer who is pristine and is probably Swiss-based businessman. So if you come to Uganda and claim, if you're Ugandan, claiming to be a business person, the profile with which our local banks will utilize to assess you is a profile of a rich Swiss banker or business person, not related to our local
But what should you have
at all.
But I feel like it's unfortunate. Do they really have a choice?
Now that's the interesting part about it. Given that we more or less don't have a local bank, more or less, I think 90% of our banking financial sector is foreign based. So it has come with its own standards and outlook and everything and imposes it over our local. So our local idiosyncrasies are basically ignored. You are not approached as a Ugandan by a Ugandan entity that will appreciate your locality and your cultural approaches to a particular thing. So they will be alien to the way you function.
And the one bank we had that was supposed to do that, I believe we sold it.
Our Silicon Valley kind of. By the way, it's one thing that I kept thinking about whenever I thought I was going through researching Silicon Valley. The one bank that seemed to be a niche in that sense and kind of captured the local business community. To a certain extent, it really did. Okay, forget its other. Of course, that comes with the territory.
Yeah.
But forget all that. It somehow was localized in its approach. That being the case, it really had to go. It did not meet the foreign imposed profile that we are talking about.
And it faced certain challenges.
Exactly.
Okay.
Rather than being rescued, like would have been the case, which would have maybe disciplined, rescued, and allowed wider ownership. Just allowing it, and so allow it to be again more localized and bedded within the economy. And when you go to South Africa, the banks are basically South African in approach. They may have African approach and whatever, but they're really, really, really totally localized. If you go to Ethiopia, same story. Kenya, same story. Not here.
Wow. So, but at least if you put the money there, you can expect that to stay there for the most part, right?
It will be there, but not to blame the banks. We Ugandans have a hustler approach to certain things.
Yeah.
And I think within the banking sector, there are a few apples that have that hustler attitude and looking at balances and thinking, well, how can I play around with this? And it's what you're talking about earlier. I think those ones do do play around in customer accounts. Of course, maybe they were within the industry. They're trying to tap down on that, but the Ugandan mentality does kind of pop its head once in a while. And we read about it.
Well, I mean, for now, it is the best option. So please continue to open your accounts in many of these fine banks that we have in Uganda, and do your part to hustle hard and let us build the economy.
Exactly.
So that one day Uganda can emerge as a superpower and we can crush this global what do you call it? It is called the singular global order that we have.
That's
the unipolar global order. You need to crush
Uganda has a great deal of potential in that sense. We are really flexible.
We can be Wakanda.
We do.
We can really be.
We do.
Well, I want to thank you so much, Mr. Wotsomu Wanda, for joining us as usual here on the Fatboy Show. Always a pleasure to speak with you. Can you let the people know where they can find you in case they'd like to reach out to you?
Yes, you can reach me on Twitter. I'm Wotsomu Wanda. You can get me there. On Facebook, I'm always reachable. Wotsomu Wanda. I maintain the same names. LinkedIn, Wotsomu Wanda.
All right.
So you can find me across all platforms.
Okay.
Easily available.
Lovely. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for speaking to us about this, and looking forward to more conversations with you.
Same here.
All right.
Every time. It's
every
really
time.
Fun. Oh, we are missing one thing.
What's that?
We were supposed to debate.
Oh, yeah.
But I will have a provision. I think we will do better to bring the information to our people.
I think so.
Yes. So
I think
they play around in ideas. Yeah.
All right. So we're going to have that debate because, most of the time here, we're very nice to each other. But how about once in a while, we also go head to head on some of these issues? Because we do, believe it or not, we do have several points of disagreement.
Yeah. You're right wing. I'm more liberal.
Yes. He's more liberal. I'm more conservative right wing in my dispensation. So it'll be interesting to tussle out some of the intricacies of what all of that might mean, and that ought to be fun. And I'm definitely going to invite you back for that. Well, thank you so much.
Thanks a great deal, James.
And keep listening to your number one station, RX Radio. This is the Fatboy Show.